Hello YouTube, this is Shadowstorm with Shadowstorm Gaming, and I'm here to give you 10 tips and tricks to help you progress faster in Genshin Impact. Okay, number one would have to be artifact sets at lower levels. They don't matter. I wouldn't even worry about them whatsoever. Maybe if you can get like 2 Berserker pieces and the artifacts themselves are really good, you know, of course use them. But don't try to piece together sets for the sake of them being sets. So if you come into your artifacts, like I don't have a whole lot of the lower level artifacts because I've used them as fodder for my higher ones. But like this, for instance, Traveling Doctor, 2 set increases incoming healing by 20%. This kind of stuff is not something that you need to worry about at a lower level. I mean, this set's a bad set anyway, but that's not something you need to worry about at a lower level. Like Lucky Dog, this one increases your defense by 100. This is nothing. There's no point. What you want to focus on artifacts like these. Now, right now, I'm using a 4-piece gladiator set. I'm at a higher level. You know, you should focus on it when you get up here. But when you're at a lower level, it doesn't matter. Like I have one off piece, right? And this is why. Look at this artifact. This is the kind of things that you're looking for on your artifacts. Diluc is my main damage dealer. That physical damage bonus plus double attack, double crit. This is a perfect example of an artifact that you're looking to find. You want something like this, which is going to be hard to get because it's a really good artifact. But you want something like this in all 5 of your slots. You don't care if they match. If they match at all or nothing like that, you just want, it doesn't matter what set they come from. Just find good, solid artifacts and put them in them slots. Okay, number 2 would be save your fragile resin. Okay, as you level and your adventure rate increases, you will get these things called fragile resin, which are these right here. These are very, very important at higher levels, right? I've used some of them since I hit AR40 because I was trying to test and farm some artifacts and try to get some 5-star artifacts, which didn't go super well. I would highly suggest wait until AR45 because at AR45, you get a 5-star artifact. I think it's a 100% drop out of every domain. You get at least one. So right now I've been pretty much wasting my resin, which is a bad idea. Okay, you want to save these for whenever you hit AR45, if you can. Like if you really want to boost and try to get your adventure rank up, you can use these. If you don't really care about the artifacts, you just want to use them as you go, that's fine too. But if I were you, I highly suggest to save your fragile resin for as long as you possibly can. Like these 14 here, I'm not using any more until I hit AR45, and then I'm dumping all this stuff into artifact farming, most likely. Maybe a few other things, but mainly artifact farming is where this stuff is going to go. So that's where I would save it and put it towards. Alright, once you get up around AR35, your adventure rank experience becomes very hard to come by. You will, if you play a lot, you will be searching around looking for everything in the game that can give you adventure rank experience, or just either even more Mora, more character experience cards, any of that kind of stuff. It becomes very hard to come by once all the quests are done and you farmed all your Geoculus, Animoculus, all that kind of stuff, and you're out of resin. So another thing you can do is look for all the chests in the game. I know you're thinking, Shadow, that's pretty obvious, right? Well, if you come to the Genshin interactive map, you can actually tell where every chest in the game is. Now, I wouldn't so much worry about these smaller ones, right? There's tons of them. It would take you forever to go through, click through, and find which ones you have and have not gotten. The ones I'm more worried about are your precious chests. These are the luxurious chests, actually. Yeah, luxurious chests. These are the biggest chests you can find out in the world, and there's not that many of them, as you can see. So you may have missed some of these. So you can go through and find them, click them off, mark as found if you found them. Same goes for the precious chests as well. There's not a whole bunch of these in the game. You could go through and you could find all these, right? There's quite a few here that you may have missed, and that's some good experience points and good resources. So I would highly suggest coming through the Genshin Impact interactive map and seeing what chests you have and have not gotten. Okay, another thing is your elemental resonance. A lot of people probably don't even know this button exists. So if you go into party and you check your elemental resonance, this right here, this gives you a list of things that having certain people or certain elements in your group can give you. So like right now I've got double pyro in mine. I'm not super worried about the affected by cryo, but it's this increased attack percent. This is a pretty big bonus to your damage. Now, I just like running Klee into Luke. I don't know. I like both characters, so this isn't really a purposeful thing right now. Now, when it is purposeful is when I do this. If I'm out running around and exploring, right, this is usually the team I run with. Yes, Suko's only level 17. Rage is only level 60. But this is just when I'm out running around, right? So, if you look at your elemental resonance with this team, it gets decreased stamina consumption by 15%, increases your movement speed by 10%, and also shortens your cooldowns, right? So, this is why I run around with this team, usually. If I'm just running around searching for chests or anything like that, then I'm going to be running a whole crap ton, right? This is the team I use it. And Razor doesn't have anything to do with the elemental resonance, but what Razor does, if you look at his passive abilities, right? Or he goes to talents, his passive ability is Wolf Sprint. Decreases all party member stamina consumption by 20%. So you throw Razor in there with 2 amino characters, and you have a group that can run around at long distances for a long time. You can get a lot of exploring done with this group. Okay, another thing you need to look out for is your resin refills. So if you go into your map, you got, as you can see, I have 91 out of 120 resin. Now, right now, I've got quite a bit of resin. And later on, when I stream later at twitch.tv/ShadowStormUS, little shameless plug there, I'm going to burn off all this resin. Won't have any more resin. Now, after that, I can refill this resin with Primo Gems, right? So I can get 60 resin for 50, and I'll do that, right? Once I use that 60 resin, I can do it again. It'll cost 100, and then 150, and then 200. You can keep refilling your resin like this, depending on if there's something certain you want to farm today. Like for today, for instance, if you go to this domain, you can only get the shields. Okay, you can only get this material today. Well, today, Monday, and Sunday. But if you don't want to wait till Sunday or Monday to get this, you need to farm it today, and you need a lot of them. You can use your resin, refill it, and keep farming that specific material. Same goes for your talent books, stuff like this. Like if you really need freedom, like I need freedom for Klee, I'm probably going to farm some of these books later and refresh my resin and keep going. So if you have the Primo Gems, if you're free to play, this might not be the best idea for you. You might want to save a lot of these Primo Gems for your wishing and stuff like that. But I would at least suggest to spend 50 a day. That extra 60 resin is quite a bit. That's an extra 300 experience every day for your adventure rank. That's extra materials. I highly suggest that you refill your resin if you have the time and the Primo Gems to do so. Okay, if you're new to the game, another thing that you need to look out for is leveling your talents, okay? So, I didn't realize this until later on, but you can actually level your talents, right? So, Mona, for instance, she needs Guide to Resistance. Now, unfortunately for me, a lot of characters need resistance. Mona needs them, Diluc needs them, Jean needs them. I think Razor might need them. Noelle, like a lot of the characters that I use resistance, unfortunately. So this book is a high commodity for me. So hopefully yours is spread out a little bit more than mine is. But you can level up these talents. Now, when I first started, I looked at this and I was like, well, this doesn't look like it does a whole lot for me. What I didn't realize is you can scroll up. Now, leveling up your main attack makes your attack deal a lot more damage, okay? It doesn't look like a whole lot from Mona. Like, Mona's is only a 3% increase for the most part. But other characters is a lot more, alright? Jean's, hers is 5. It's almost a 5% difference. I think Diluc's was even more than that. It was more like 8, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. His is 12. Granted, his takes legendary materials to level up to the next level. But his is a 12% increase in damage from your just your normal attack. Leveling up and keeping up with these talents are a very, very important part of your damage. So as you go, you really need to focus on keeping these leveled up. Okay, when you're first starting out and you're trying to decide what artifacts to level, I highly, highly suggest that you level your feather first. Your feather, go into artifacts here, like a level 16 feather grants 232 attack to your character. Now, a low level one, let's see here, Traveling Doctor, I think that's a feather, yeah. This one gives 8. That is a massive difference. Even if this is a green or a blue artifact, I think they range from 20 or 30 attack, something like that, around level 1. So leveling this feather gives you the most bang for your buck when it comes to your damage output across all your other artifacts. Because your flower, for example, only gives HP. Every single flower gives HP as its main stat. Okay? These other things, they can be anything from physical damage bonuses to crit rate to attack to crit damage. I think energy recharge and like hydro damage and stuff like that. But if you can get those are rare to find a good artifact that has a good main stat and then decent substats. Now your feather, the main stat's always good. So investing into a feather early on, at least for your main damage dealer, maybe your secondary damage dealer, get those feathers up to the max level that you can, okay? And even if you get a blue feather up to like level 8, okay? And you find a good 4-star feather, you can take that level 8 feather and put that into your good 4-star feather and you don't lose that much artifact experience. So you can, even if you find another feather later on, you can throw the one that you were using into that feather or use that feather that you were using and putting on another DPS. There's a lot of ways that you can do that stuff, but I highly suggest that your feather is the first and most important artifact that you decide to invest into at an early stage. Okay, there are a few things that you want to make sure that you can do every day as long as you have the time to do so. One of them, as we spoke about earlier, was refilling your resin. That's a very important thing that if you have the time every day to play, that you should do. The other, which is even more important, is your daily commissions, right? So if you go in here and you go to your commissions, you have 4 daily commissions that you can do every day. Now, these commissions are super, super important because of this adventure rank experience. Like right now at AR41, I'm getting 250 adventure rank experience per commission, and then once I do all 4 of these, I get a bonus of 500 over here. This is also a good amount of Mora, good amount of Primo Gems every day. So doing this every day is very, very, very important. Even if you have a very limited time to play the game, if you can log in and do these commissions, you're going to progress. Okay? So these commissions also don't take that much time at all. You can knock all this stuff out in like 10 minutes. They're very, very quick, very, very efficient for people, especially for people that have a very limited amount of time to play every day. You can log into your phone and do this while you're on break at work. It's very simple and very easy way and your best source of adventure break experience that you can possibly get in the game. Okay, here's another little tip that I'd like to touch on while I found one in game. It took me a little while because I've grabbed every one that I could find, and I'm not quite sure what the respawn timer is on these or not. But these little boxes right here, these have Geo Sigils inside them. These little things right here. Now every box has 2, and they usually have about 1,000 Mora, give or take, maybe 1,500 sometimes. 2 Geo Crystals or Geo Sigils, mind you, after you've bought everything from the store in Liyue, or even for the other sigils over in Mondstadt. Once you've bought everything, every 2 sigils is worth 1,600 Mora. So every one of these boxes is worth 1,600 Mora from the sigils, and then around 1,000 from just the Mora that's inside of it. So you can get about 2,600 Mora per box. So every box that you see, you need to grab. These really add up over time. See? There we go. Let's see. We got 2 Geo Sigils and 1,500 Mora. That's quite a bit of Mora for nothing, right? And I'm pretty sure there's another box I've seen right over here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go check it out. Yep, there's one right there. See? Look at that. 2 sigils and 1,500 Mora. So this is a great way to stockpile some Mora. If you see these, don't pass on them. They also spawn on the side of rocks. There's these little circular things that you can go up and investigate. It'll give you sigils and Mora. I couldn't find any, so I couldn't get any on video because I've found a lot of them too. So I highly suggest that whenever you see these boxes or Geo Sigils anywhere, you pick them up while you're there. Okay, another thing that you should do as you're out questing and exploring and looking around trying to find chests and stuff is to pick up everything you see. Okay, there are a lot of materials around here that you wouldn't think that you need, but you do. Like for instance, I come through here a lot, all right, and I go through this route and kill hilly trolls and that ruin guard over there, and you know, for different materials. And as you're going through, look at this. There are 4 Valberries here. Now you're like, what the hell are Valberries? What are those used for? Those Valberries are used for Noel's Ascension materials. You need a lot of those Valberries to do that. Same goes for the mushrooms for Cleese. And like Mona, they need these mushrooms here. They grow on the eaves of houses inside of Mondstadt, at the winery in Springvale. Like, if you walk past these things, just pick them up. Just take a small little detour, grab them. It'll save you a lot of time later on. Like all the gaze lilies. Or is it gaze lilies? No, it's not gaze lilies. What is it for him? Small lamp grass. I walked past a ton of this stuff early game. Didn't pick it up. Just ignored it, right? Even though I walked directly past it, all I had to do was push a button to pick it up. But I ended up having to go farm this because I needed it for both Diluc and I needed it for Fischl, right? They both take it. So, and you need a lot of it. Now, this stuff respawns every, I think, 24 to 48 hours, somewhere in there. So, you will need a lot of it. And if you don't do the co-op thing and go into other people's games and ask them nicely, don't just go into people's games and steal their resources, but tell them what you want and go look for it. But as you're going through the game and you see this stuff, just grab it as you walk by. There's no reason not to take the extra second to click the pickup button. It saves you a lot of time and grief in the long run. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more Genshin content. I'm very new to this. I'm really trying to get this all together. I'm learning video editing software, how to make thumbnails, how to make all this stuff. I'm very, very new to this. This is only my 2nd video. So all the support that I can get is greatly, greatly appreciated. I hope some of these tips and tricks were helpful to a lot of the players out there. And leave a comment below and let me know what you thought. Thank you very much.